Hello. Thank you for inviting us, Eglė. At the beginning, I would like to stress out that not only Ljubljana is the most beautiful city in Europe, but also Prague is. So you're all welcome to come and maybe to find partners. First part of presentation will present my colleague Eva.
Thank you, and this is Magdalena Millerova. So Prague is a beautiful city, as the Czech Republic is not so successful as Slovenia in this Creative Europe program. I must really say that they are the best, I think. The Slovenia is the best. I have the feeling that really the Czechs don't have many contacts with Lithuanian or with this region. And in my opinion, it's a great pity, and I think the Creative Europe is one of rare opportunity how to cooperate. So I would like if it could be changed. At first, I will only very shortly introduce Czech Republic. We are now in the middle, just in the middle of the Europe, but let's say we belong to the Central Eastern Europe as for our history. And we have 10 million inhabitants, and former Czechoslovakia split in 1993. Now we have neighbors with Slovakia, of course Poland, and on the other side with Austria and Germany. So we are really in the middle between West and East, let's say, or Central East. As for the Czech cultural scene or infrastructure, I think that really they have a very rich cultural scene and infrastructure. As for the infrastructure, what I mean, it's something as the remains of the Austria-Hungarian legacy, let's say, because we have a lot of buildings, as for example repertory theaters. In each city in the regions, we have a lot of museums, a lot of libraries, and a lot of heritage sites. So these are really the sector, very traditional. Of course, the classical music is very traditional sector and well developed in Czech Republic. But there are also other fields which are developing since 1989. For example, the contemporary dance or contemporary circus, which is really quite a phenomenon in the Central European region. And of course also contemporary music or design is emerging or starting to be recognized, or digital games. As for funding, the culture is funded partly by the Ministry of Culture, but partly 2/3 of finances go through cities and through regions. So there are a lot of there are a lot of granting systems also on the level of cities and regions. And as for the infrastructures, we have some state organizations, but also a lot of municipal or regional organizations, but a lot of NGOs. So it's a quite good situation nowadays. As for our Creative Europe desk responsible for culture, so we are quite lucky because we are seated in the Arts and Theatre Institute, which is something between the ministry and NGO, because we are the organization financed by the Ministry of Culture, but we have really closer to cultural stakeholders. And so we are something in the intermediator between these two sectors, let's say. And why we are lucky? Because Arts and Theatre Institute is one of its goals is also to promote Czech arts abroad and to promote international cooperation. So we have some programs and projects dedicated to this topic. So I will introduce them because they are the right place or the information sources when you can get the information or get in touch with the cultural scene. The first one here is, for example, Soundcheck, which is music export office. and it was established only 2 years ago, so it's quite new. And so if you would like to have the contacts in the field of music, so it's the best place to turn to or to contact them, because they should work as also the center for this international cooperation. And it's for contemporary music, but you can contact them also concerning the classical music, because we have the experts for classical music as well, who knows all the contacts in the scene. And in this case, it's interesting because it was the audition for the director of the office, and it's led by the Hungarian guy. So it's interesting. And the second project of Arts and Theatre Institute is Perform Czech, which is a department dedicated to promoting Czech performing arts as theatre, dance and contemporary circus abroad, but also promoting international cooperation. So it's for these fields is the best way to contact them. And then it's also quite very new established infrastructure for literature. It was established a year ago. It's a Czech Literary Center. So in this case also, as for the literature, for cooperation projects is the best way that they can provide you with the contacts. This Czech Literary Center also has a residential program that you can apply from abroad to be in residency in Prague. And also as for literature residency, for example, Prague as the city is the UNESCO City of Literature, so they also have quite a huge program for literature residencies. And then we also provide this website CultureNet. It has the English version, and it's such a crossroads to links to some information sources or to major cultural institutions in all the sectors, let's say, also the heritage and design and so on. There are some guides there guided you through the cultural scene or the respective scene of these fields in the Czech Republic. So it's for these sources. And the last one which I mentioned, or yeah, it's a quite new initiative. It's not running yet, but hopefully it will be very soon. And it's the website called Czech Mobility Info, and it's quite interesting because it will be the website for of course Czech operators going abroad, but also for foreign operators going to work in Czech Republic, temporary or for long term, and also deals with question of, for example, legislative as taxes or insurance or visas and so on. Some consultancy plays, but in the same way, it's the part of the initiatives of such mobility info points all over Europe in the framework of the On the Move portal or On the Move initiative. I don't know if you know it, but it's quite interesting because on this On the Move website you can find really a lot of mobility, of possibilities, financing mobility or international cooperation in Europe and also beyond Europe. In Asia, for example, there are the opportunities how to get money to go there or to cooperate with some Asian organization and so on. So it was published, this Cultural Mobility Funding Guide for the Czech Republic, so you can find it on the website of On the Move at this moment, and there are more of them. I think Lithuania has also one guide there. And these guides are really lists of all possibilities, financing, mobility and international cooperation. And it's quite well structured because you can find out, it's pointed out if it's for outgoing or incoming initiatives. Because, let's say it's true, in our case, there are not many possibilities for incoming types of projects. The calls which are open really for foreigners. Because, for example, Ministry of Culture finance cooperation projects for sure, But the applicants must be Czech organizations, you know, so they can have some international dimension as festivals and so on, but the applicants can't be foreigners. So, and we also, for example, Arts and Theatre Institute, we have this Go and See Mobility Fund, but it's also open only for Czech participants who, for example, but if they want to go, for example, to Lithuania, then it's possible to finance their transport mainly or something like this. So, and now at this moment, I will get floor to Magdalena.
So thank you, and we've brought some leaflets as well, so that you can remember the websites and possibilities you can have in the Czech Republic. So these are for you, and I've got some tips and tricks how to go European, how to start international cooperation, because, well, the biggest goal of Creative Europe are cooperation projects, which are pretty complex and time-consuming, and you spend lots of communication on that. So it is not necessary to jump directly into application to be an applicant in cooperation project, but you can make just, you know, a few smaller steps before. You can take time. You don't need to give up your big goals, but you can be slower a little bit. And for example, lots of cooperation projects started on European networks. Creative Europe has got 2 calls also. Well, they are over, but they are funding European networks, which are dedicated to each sector. There are also multi-sectorial networks as well, dedicated, for example, to audience development, or I don't know, education, those horizontal issues. So it's like big source of information, studies, open calls. They organize lots of annual meetings for members and also for non-members. And so this is a platform where you can meet people who want to cooperate internationally. I would like to, for example, stress out European network, which works very well, which is Trans-Europe Halls. This is a network of former industrial buildings which transformed into cultural organizations. So they make also very good training, and they've got very nice gatherings all over Europe. So, for example, such cooperation, or this could be a very nice start of further friendship and partnership. So these are European networks. Then I would like to say that once you would like to be a partner or an applicant in a cooperation project within Creative Europe, don't go beyond your capacities, because Creative Europe is a very broad program. So you can think of lots of activities. So you want to make your application very strong, so you add more and more activities here and there, and then finally you don't have your capacities, personal or financial or managerial. So be aware of that. Also follow your mission, because mission of the organization is crucial. So don't go away from your mission, and you need to see to find merge between mission of creative, merge of priorities of Creative Europe, but also mission of yours and mission of your partners. So don't forget about the motivation of the partners, because they should be really motivated to work for your project. If you're initiator, this is just the beginning, but the motivation of all participating entities in the project should be life, and you don't need you don't have to forget about that, because afterwards, if they're only for money, then you know, it's very hard to get some, for example, financial receipts, or to have motivated partners. So that means that the activities wouldn't be so powerful. So this is it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva and Magdalena.
So, hello everyone. Thanks, Eglė, to welcome us here in KÖRYBIŠKOS. So, my name is Mathilde Vasseur. I work in Paris for an organization called Relais Culture Europe. Relais Culture Europe is a French public service for European common interest. It's also a platform for innovation and European cooperation in creative and cultural sectors. So we have different missions and activities. We are, of course, Creative Europe Desk for France. We also organize trainings for cultural operators. We organize events to talk about culture and Europe. And since last year, we have a new mission for French Ministry of Culture. We help cultural operator to understand Horizon 2020 program. We are not a national contact point, but there is some entries for cultural operators in this program, so we help them to have a better understanding of those entries. So yes, Relais Culture Europe is a creative desk for France for both culture and media sub-programs. Media is Creative Europe sub-program for cinema and audiovisual sectors. So as part of this mission, we have different specific activities, la pépinière à projet Europe Creative, Lab Europe, and Conversation. The first one, pépinière, is about to understand Creative Europe funding opportunities. What we do in this pépinière is workshops, online session, informational session about Creative Europe cause, and we also have networking activity, for example, with our colleagues from other countries. The second one is Lab Europe. The object is to create new dynamics in French region and to encourage European cooperation. So we do it with local operators and artists, and in partnership with French region. So we're also developing a web platform, a community platform to share resources online. So the third one is our conversation. The idea is to debate and share European experiences, experiences of collaboration, of cooperation, of artistic projects, experiences of Creative Europe projects. So we organize each year an event in Paris in September. During this event, we encourage people to enter in conversation about culture, Europe, best practices, Creative Europe program, the future of the program, democracy, culture for Europe. So next conversation will take place in Paris in September. During the third day, we will have a day off. The idea is to let the possibility to have meeting with partners or potential partners, so you're very welcome to join us in September in Paris. So now I will present you three Creative Europe projects with French lead partner. The first one is Live DMA. It's a network working to support and promote the condition of the live music sector. The coordinator of the project is Fedelima, a French organization, but there is a Lithuanian partner in the project, it's Loftas. So the second one is Les Voyages de Capitaine Futur. It's a European cooperation project led by La Gaieté Lyrique, which is a cultural venue in Paris. They organize events like concerts and exhibitions, and they have a lot of other activities like conference and debates. There is at this moment an exhibition in La Gaieté Lyrique for this project for children. So the third one and last one is Transbook, is a European initiative to promote the digital transition and internationalization of the children publishing industry. It's coordinated by le Salon du Livre et de la Presse Jeunesse. So now you have three different examples of Creative Europe co-funded projects with French lead partner. So the last part of the presentation, some support of opportunities. The first one is a residency for artists in France, in Paris, at La Cité Internationale des Arts. It's a program of residency proposed by l'Institut Français. Sorry, I'm not. This one is an initiative from the French Ministry of Culture. The idea is to propose training for cultural professionals of foreign countries. So if you are interested, there is the email of the person in charge of this initiative. This one is support for foreign production and tour for international productions in France. It's proposed by ONDA, the French Office for Contemporary Performing Arts Circulation. And the last one is the support for translation proposed by CNL, which is Centre National du Livre. So here you have some resources. And there is my contact. If you want more information on, or if you want to meet some French partners for cooperation projects. And here you can find more information about Relais Culture Europe. Thank you.
May I ask you a question?